think about food, your body doesn't just burn energy like a steam engine. So, calories, it's an imperfect measurement of kind of the food that we're consuming. It gives us a basis to go off of, but it's not going to be perfect. So you see 100 calories in the back of a bag of chips, for example, and that doesn't paint the whole picture. Your body might not use all of that energy. So just something to keep in mind as we go about this conversation and as you look at nutrition labels going forward. So what we have with food is calories in versus calories out. This is essentially a physics law. It's the law of thermodynamics, and I won't go into the science. I do have an engineering major, so I could go into the science, but it's not going to be in your best interest. But all that it says is the energy going into a system has to equal the energy going out of a system. There's no way to get around that. So energy in has to equal energy out. So you apply this to your body and you find that calories in has to equal calories out, no matter what. That's just the way it works. So when you take in more energy than you burn, you gain weight. When you take in less energy than you burn, you lose weight. It's as simple as that. But it's actually not that simple, because weight loss is not simply a matter of just eat less and move more. I'm sure people have tried that. Maybe you two have tried that. You just go do some more cardio. Maybe you eat a little less food, and hopefully you'll lose weight. But something happens, and we don't always know what that something is. But it's a complex equation. There's a lot that goes into both the calories in and the calories out part of the equation. And it's also important to note that your brain regulates the calories out portion of the calorie burn quite a bit as well. I mean, your brain is like your second gut, and it will kind of hold on to calories or let calories go based off what's going on. If you're stressed out, if you're anxious, all that good stuff. So the biggest one is probably sleep. So if you're not sleeping well enough, then your hunger hormones are probably off. You could have, a higher, your hormones that regulate your appetite could be higher, like at night, for example, when you should be sleeping, which can cause you to eat more at night and kind of get the late night cravings. You might need to reduce stress, because if you're really stressed out, your body thinks you're in like a fight or flight mode, and it wants to hold on to that body fat for essential storage. It doesn't know that it's 2022 where we have food that's abundant. We're still wired for evolutionary times where we have to hunt and find food. So when you're stressed out, your body doesn't know what's going on. It's just trying to hold on to stuff to survive. You might need to do more low intensity activities rather than high intensity activities. So again, this goes back to stress. If you're doing a lot of like cardio or like high intensity interval training classes, or like body pump, for example, if you do that every single day, that might just be a little too much stress for your body, and your body doesn't want to lose any more weight because it's just stressed out. You might want to focus on the quality over the quantity of food. So if you're just trying to eat less Cheerios and cookies and ice cream, maybe you just try to focus on eating less processed foods and not really worry about how much you're eating, but just, try to eat more raw vegetables, high quality meats, all that good stuff. If you are paying more, like a closer attention to your food, you can experiment with the macros, which we're going to get into in a tiny bit here. Your proteins, carbs, and fats. You can play around with your meal timing. Maybe you don't need to eat breakfast. Maybe you don't want to eat like right before bed. And then last but not least, if none of these things are working, you could just start tracking your food and really getting a clear picture of what's going into your body, and then, going from there. Okay, so what are macros? Macros is an abbreviation of the word macronutrients. Macro means of great size, which tells us that this nutrient category is pretty important with regards to our overall diet. So we need the macronutrients to give us energy, keep us strong, help our bodies grow, repair, function, and just perform best. So like I kind of said earlier, protein, carbs, and fats are the three macronutrients. So carbs are everyone's favorites. Everyone thinks carbs are the devil, but carbs are the primary energy source in the body. So they're actually not essential. So like if you were just kind of laying around, your body could survive from just eating proteins and fats, but it wouldn't be efficient. You wouldn't feel that good at all. So this is one where, like, when people do the ketogenic diet, it can work for sure. The ketogenic diet is essentially eating just really high fat, a moderate amount of protein, and essentially zero carbs. And the theory is your body will start to use the fat for energy. But as someone who's done the ketogenic diet for 4 months, I did not feel very good. And I would just be careful to commit to anything like that before like what you're getting your body into and how you're going to feel. So if you're working out, if you're active at all, if you're on your feet a good amount, carbs are going to be pretty important for you. If you're not active in the early part of the day, you might not need them. You don't have to have like cereal or oatmeal with breakfast if you're not going to be super active right away in the morning. But if you are like a morning workout person, then having like a banana or something like that before you go to the gym is really going to help your performance, which is going to help you lose weight or build muscle or whatever your goal is. So fats are very important as well. Fats do not make you fat. That's just what they're called. Fats are important for energy storage, organ support, making certain hormones in your body, absorbing fat soluble vitamins, and supporting your cell membrane integrity. So if you consume a lot of healthy fats, you're going to notice your joints feel better. You're going to be usually quicker on your feet. You're going to think better. You're going to recover faster. And like I said, it's also good for energy storage. So what that means is it's better for like longer energy. So let's say, for example, you work at a desk job, you work like, 8 to 4 p.m. You have a little breakfast in the morning, you go straight to work. You're not really using a lot of quick energy. You're just kind of sitting, you need energy to kind of just sit there and be present. Then maybe eating more fats in the morning for energy would be better. It's going to be longer acting. If you have like a big bowl of cereal in the morning for energy, you might feel good for about an hour, but then you're going to crash because it's usually a simple carb. It's a fast digesting sugar, so it's not going to last as long. But if you have like just some whole eggs have some healthy fats in the egg yolk, and then maybe like some avocado as well, that might be a better breakfast if your energy is sporadic in the morning. So basically just depends on what activities you're going for. If you're just kind of sitting sedentary and you need energy just to kind of be awake and present, then fats are good for that. But if you're going to go for a run or go work out or go on a hike, carbs might be better. So it's just it just depends on what activity you're doing. Really, and then the last thing here is just to eat a balanced diet, which is what I always recommend. We don't want to exclude food groups, like I said, with a ketogenic diet, which excludes carbs. Can you do that forever? If the answer is no, then probably you shouldn't do it. If you don't want to cut out gluten forever, assume you don't have celiac disease or some crazy intolerance, you shouldn't cut it out for good. So really here, just focus on your whole natural unprocessed foods. For the most part, you can have your treats from time to time, but if you're doing that 80% of the time, you're going to be successful. Like I said earlier, maximize protein, and fiber is also a good one to keep an eye on. So make sure you're getting in plenty of fruits and vegetables. Fiber is also in, your whole grain carbs like rice and oatmeal, whole grain breads, all that good stuff. One thing I'd love to do is focus on addition rather than subtraction. So if you're eating a lot of sweets at night, don't tell yourself you can't have the ice cream anymore. Just focus on what can you add at night that's going to move the needle in the right direction. So maybe every night you have a serving of vegetables with your dinner, or an extra serving of vegetables with your dinner. And you don't even worry about cutting out that ice cream right now, but you just focus on addition in various parts of your diet until that becomes a habit. And then you're going to start to build a healthy mindset, and you're not going to probably want the treats as much as you used to. So that's kind of the goal there. And just treat yourself in moderation. So that's the trick here, is don't deprive yourself from all of the yummy foods forever, because then that's going to lead to a binge over time. If you don't eat anything sweet for a month and then you go to a party and there's cookies and donuts and cake, you're probably going to eat a lot because you haven't had it, you really missed it. But if you have a little bit of sweets every single night, then you're probably not going to binge.